So my name is Kenny Graham. I joined GNS somewhere in February this year. And most of the time I'm going to talk about here is basically work done by Matt, David, and Anne-Marie. And I just came in just to kind of implement some of the software. The title might sound a bit deceiving, but here I'm just going to talk much about the tool that we are currently using for our OEF. But I'll start with a bit of introduction, like what we've done. The play or what do you do to go next? Like, cool. So New Zealand has been kind of producing this OEF since 2010. That's a Duffield earthquake sequence. And we've been having a series of stakeholder engagements just to understand who needs them and what they are going to use it for, and the focus group. And we've done it for Kaikoura and other sequences within New Zealand. So the tool that we currently have is what we call the hybrid forecasting tool. So it uses three models that has been published. We look at the short-term sequence or the short-term frame, and we look at the medium term and the long term. So for the short term, we basically using the step model that was published by Mats, and we use a version or a localized version of ETAS model. And this one, the focus is looking at earthquakes from days to years. And we basically use the medium term, that is the EPAS model, that is basically for New Zealand currently, but we are looking to kind of extend it to other parts of the world. And for our long-term model, we use kind of the National Seismic Hazard Model as a background. We also use this smooth seismicity, but we mix them to kind of give one output. Then we kind of use the hybrid framework to kind of mix these three together to create the full, what do you call it, forecast. So what I came to do was previously all these were done by kind of different people because they were using different packages of software to do it. And we needed to kind of do it in one place or by one person. So we created this kind of a Docker container where we basically put in all the software in there, and you basically go in there and one will just click stuff and get it done. So, and for one to kind of use it, we rendered the image using this kind of virtual network computing platform. So this is kind of how the tool looks like. It's mainly give you where you choose the models that you want to run. So here you kind of select your the state ETAS or EPAS model. Then you choose the particular background model that you're going to use. But here we've actually merged all the background models that I mentioned into one background model that you select in, and you kind of choose a region for New Zealand that you want to use. But at the moment, what we are doing is we have a daily run that's forecast for 30 days, 90 days, and 1 year. And the reason for the forecast comes from the engagement that we had with the end users, because our end users are mainly the NEMA people, the council, and other people. And their focus is mainly to see what is happening in the medium term and the long term. So that's where our focus is mainly providing. Then if you go on each of the tabs, you can just go in there and fetch the catalog. We have an API, you can just access New Zealand catalog and you fetch the catalog to use. Then here's where you parameterize your various inputs into the step model. The same way you can parameterize some of the stuff for the ETAS and the EPAS. And after you've done that and run the model, you get an option to combine in the hybrid way, how you're going to do it, whether you're going to combine just to see the short term. So just combine the step and the ITARs. If you want to just see what the influence of the step, you just do that. And for the IPAS, so just collect the particular combination that you want to use. So we try to kind of show some of these forecast model on our page. So this kind of what we show. We show the intensity shaking, and the reason why is there were a lot of things we could show, but the public doesn't really engage in some of those technicalities, and these are the things that they kind of relate to, and these are what we kind of show them. So this is one of the shaking for like a intensity 6 for 1 year. So the one on the right is the 1 year, and the one on the left is the 90-day period. And we kind of show tables like this also. That is basically for the magnitude range. We kind of show the expected number of earthquakes, and we show the 95% confidence bound. Then we basically show the probabilities for that particular magnitude range. We have option to kind of zoom into different regions of Kaikoura that you want to look at. So this is an example of looking at just central New Zealand, that is including Kaikoura. So the question is, what's next? We try to keep on engaging with stakeholders, just trying to refine some of these outputs that we are trying to give. And I was really curious in what you just presented, and I think it's something that we kind of take it home and just talk about some of the things that's out there. We just finished up the new seismic hazard model. So definitely we are going to kind of reparameterize some of these model and use the new magnitude stuff they did for the new National Seismic Hazard Model to kind of reparameterize some of these models that we have in there. And one important thing, and one of the reason why I'm here, is try to kind of revive our testing center, because it's kind of been, I wouldn't say dead, but been left to sleep for a while, because I think ever since it was created or set up by Masha, we've not had a chance to go in there to kind of set up the experiments. So we're looking at a way to kind of probably revive it. And I was happy to hear some of the engagement that Pablo is working on. So maybe using something similar like the global experiment that you're working on, probably to revive that. We are obviously going to use the new PyCSIP for our testing. And as I said, our focus is basically from the medium term to the long term. So we basically do more of the testing using this approach. Then possibly investigate some of other testing tools that we could use, or testing framework. That's basically relying on my statistical background and a bit of David Rhodes' experience to kind of use more simpler testing procedure, just like the t-test approach and other simpler testing means. And I think I'll stop here, and my apologies for very short notice or a short talk, but I'm here to answer the question.